Just Ordinary friends and fam. How about this sick intro that we got now? This is awesome. Huge shout out to Mad Max, a member of Just Ordinary, for putting that together. For this video, we're going to roll into doing some live Legend League attacks. Now, they were live when I recorded. They're not live now, obviously, yeah, so I essentially recorded all of my Legend League attacks, all 8 of them for this day, and we ended up getting, oh look, here's Sage coming to say hi again. Oh, hi Sagey Sage. Yeah, so we wanted to, and we only had one fail on this day, and I think it was a 28% 2-star, or I'm sorry, a 28 trophy 2-star attack. And yeah, it was insane. We had a really good day in Legend League. I think I'm going to start doing these a little bit more frequently now, just because we are having a really good Legend League season. I will say it really comes down to luck. And with it being luck related, it's just like, yeah, you can put up the best bases that you think, but it really doesn't help with the meta right now and everyone using this Root Rider Grand Champ charge attack. So I will say I'm very proud in the fact that I'm still doing the drags. I think it's a little bit more technical and not as so much like spam like the Root Riders, but it is a lot of fun. I'm adapting and understanding how this Rocket Spear works even more, so that's a really good time. Oh, and then there's Junie. Say hi, Junie, to YouTube. Say hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Okay, go lay down. Go lay down. So, yeah, I'm going to get into describing what I'm doing in these attacks, but, right now we're just kind of warming up, getting into the video a little bit. There was a lot of good NFL football going on this last weekend, so I hope you guys got to tune in and see some of that. But, yeah, other than that, Just Ordinary, we got a lot of ties lately, and I'm going to do some more war recaps on that, but... yeah, we're having a really good time, and we have a very, very, very productive and proactive crew here. We're all sharing bases in Legend League to try to get our top placing, and working together. And Mad Max, he's a base builder that does a lot of attacks in base building, so he helps out a lot, and yeah, a few others. So it's been a really good time lately. We're having a lot of fun, and we're striving to get Just Ordinary to the top leaderboards here this season. We might need to get some alt accounts in to get to the higher records, just because we're getting a little some of the members gave up just because it's negative 320 every day. So understandably it's a lot. So yeah, all right, going into this attack. All right, this is a pretty frequent base, okay? You see this a lot in Legend League right now, and this is kind of the strategy that I used. I will say that I've learned a couple new strategies since then. First things first is this one was kind of the flub. This was an extremely, extremely close 3-star. I mean, almost as close as it gets, right? But after this raid, I figured out how to triple it consistently, and essentially in the next Legend League video, it's going to show exactly what I did differently. But you want to get that Grand Champ in there, activate the Invisi spells, and then get the Grand Champ into that little 2 core compartments there to take out as much as possible. That's the goal, because the rest of this stuff is really just fluff on the outside, right? Yeah, and excuse the Discord messages. I always forget to put on Do Not Disturb as soon as I start recording, so it is what it is. You guys get some insight on the code leaders talking or whoever else is in it. I decided to do the Queen's Arrow, Giant Arrow, straight through the core there because it got the 2 sweepers, and they were perfectly lined up. I mean, like I said, this is about as close as you get for the triple on this base, but it did work out, and since then I've decided on how I can make this even better. So, yeah, other than that, the activating those Invisi spell towers is just rough, right? So that's why I use the Minion Prince's ability there, because I knew it was going to activate the Invisi spell again, and even though that Queen's going to get taken out right into the core there, I wanted to make sure it would activate so that way it wasn't going to be a 1-star. So, Since then, the drags just keep going through and smashing the base, which is awesome. These drags are so OP. I'm definitely using the strategy for the remainder of the season. I think I might even push a little bit further. And I'm surprised that Mono is still up after all that. I mean, it just wrecked havoc on that entire base there. But like I said, it's a super close attack. The Queen is literally on its last health before the healers, targeted back on her and started healing her back up. The Queen takes out that air defense, which enables that dragon to keep going around the outside. And then the really only thing that's really going to hurt this a lot is that giant cannon, the ricochet cannon there, and then the king on the backside. Now, those two drags took down that king so much to the point to where this attack actually does triple. I mean, look at this Queen holding on. It is ridiculous. This is, like I said, as close as you could get to a triple. I got super lucky with the end traps here and the fact that the king was low health and it was only like 2 shot. So yeah, 1, 2, done. And then and then I got the triple. And then the skeleton the skeleton trap came up when the gold storage was just 1 hit. So a wild attack. Definitely not my strongest, but it still got the triple. This meta right now is insane. So diving into this base, okay, so this is kind of a more common base also. Typically when you do this attack, you want to use the Grand Champion to dive to get the mono, okay? That's like mono, single target infernos, multi-archer towers, anything like that, because you really want to get in there and cause as much damage on the high HP defenses that you can. So right here, as you can see, I am real tactical about where I use that actual rocket spear and where I use it at. One, you kind of want to be around more high HP structures, and then 2, you want it to be able to funnel into those high value targets. So in this case, I was able to not only take out that single target Inferno Tower, but I drew the enemy CC, and that's actually going to get taken out the majority with that Grand Champion. And then from there, as I'm trying to get in there and take out that mono, but I saw that it just wasn't going to work out, so I recalled the Grand Champ there, used the wall breaker in the 6 o'clock, which enables the CC to go through, use that giant arrow to go through the core there and really start enabling the pathing for the drags. Even if your Archer Queen misses, any of the targets, like in this case, I missed the sweeper. I was aiming for the sweeper and I missed it. But even though that happens, you still want to use that Queen to the best of the ability, right? So I missed the sweeper, but enables the funneling, which gets the drag straight into the core there, and then the enemy or my CC going around the outside at the 6 o'clock is perfect because those drags go straight through the core, take out the mono, and then a group of 7 of them go up top to take out those high HP and high DPS structures, and then I use the minion prince straight over the core, which is going to get that town hall, and then from there, the minion prince is going to take out as many as it can. It targets the defensive structures just because of the actual hero, and then I also rock the jellyfish with it, so it's the perfect the perfect combination. And then those drags that go up top, it actually really helps out because that single target Inferno snipes off that warden and a couple of those dragons, but luckily I've got enough cleanup in the 3 o'clock right now to go up and snatch up that single target Inferno and those other trash buildings. And that's a wrap on this one. This army is just so OP. I highly recommend it. That Minion Prince is able to take it out. Of course, there's a couple of skeleton traps that come up and, we got to take out. But it is what it is. You just keep rolling with it. If I can make a recommendation, be really tactical about where you put your archers and your baby dragon, because that's truly the only cleanup that you actually have is those two. So when you do your attack, just be mindful about where they're going to go and make sure they don't get taken out too quick, because they, a lot of times you get time fails with this attack, and so you really want to make sure that those troops don't get taken out that fast. So as you can see in this one, the baby dragon, there's nothing targeting air defenses in that top corner except for maybe a seeking air mine, but nothing visibly that I could see. So it's able to take out like a good 4 no, actually more, going up to like 6 buildings now. So that's what you need to look for. And then also the Grand Champ, like I said, targeting that mono. As long as you can get the Grand Champ into a position where it can rocket spear that mono or other, like, sweepers, builders huts in the core, inferno towers, air defenses, scatters, spitters, all that stuff, right? So even that tornado trap right here is super beneficial to me because the aura of the Sparky Boots is going to take out the spitter. It even does a lot of damage onto that scatter, and it takes out the sweeper from that side. Now, I will say that I went into the sweeper even though I took that sweeper out, and this is just how the way I do the attack. Whatever angle I get, I want to make a good L shape or U shape to the base, like we've always preached about, and from there, you're able to get the angle so that way you don't have to do time fails. Again, Giant Arrow is an extremely important piece of information when you go into these attacks, and then really try to keep that queen alive. I've saved invisibility spells and freeze spells and recall spells just to keep that queen alive. As you can see here, I use the freeze on the ricochet cannon and that Grand Champ defending Grand Champ, and then that's able to that enables the queen to go around the outside, take out that air defense, which could have caused major damage to my attacking dragons, right? The minion prince went to the corner there. It froze like those Teslas, which really didn't do a whole lot. There's an air defense there and the ricochet cannon that are going to really do damage on my drags. But as you guys can see, this is just a no-brainer. This is a triple. I try to get an upper hand and get that angle with the 2 archers on that Dark Elixir drill, but it really doesn't matter because those drags are going to come back, and the Builder Hut is actually healing that Dark Elixir drill faster than the 2 archers can take it down. So it's kind of just like null and void. Those troops just didn't matter there. But still OP, still a lot of troops that are going around, and that's a wrap for that one. All right, diving into the next one. And let me know if you guys like this because I'm really gonna start recording this. I'm doing the audio on this a day after, so John DeLovers. All right, so this team. Side note, before I go back to that, this is the team that beat us in CWL in Warlock, the Champs 1 team. They were very strong, and yeah, that whole league was just steroids. I mean, it was just insane. Yeah. So anyway. You just got to use the strat. It's so good. Yeah. So anyway, as you can see, Rocket Spear here, this is going to create a good funnel because it's targeting those outside defenses. And then it's going to create a clear path to where that RC is going to go after that. So in this example, it's going straight to that ricochet cannon. And look at that whole corner of the base that I've taken out now that is going to give me a very, very, very easy L-shape ambush to this base, okay? L-shape ambush, I hope you military folks, you guys remember that term. It's very common in what we do. So, yeah, and then, like I said, if you get Invisi spell over that aura, unfortunately, I needed like 1 more to take out that spitter, which would have been great, but regardless, it doesn't matter. And then from here, I wanted to target that the air defense, and then, like I said, it creates a good funnel. There's not a lot of high DPS structure defenses around the corner, so that queen is going to create a super great funnel just to go into the core there. I freeze the mono and the poison spell tower, and then, like I said, those drags are just going to go straight into the core, and then that queen's enabled such a great funnel for those dragons to go through, and then, yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I use the Warden's ability kind of early on this, and then I also use the Minion Prince ability, and it just because of the fact that it covered both the spitters, the Town Hall, the scatter, the spell tower, and the multi-target Inferno there. So I just saw tons of value, so I took the opportunity, and it works out, obviously. And then, as you can see, the 3 o'clock, I've got the archers taking out those collectors, so that way I make sure there's not going to be a time fail. Again, there's a lot of different ways to run this attack. I am still 1,000% on the super minions in the CC just because it eliminates a ton of time fails. I mean, truly, those super minions going around the base, they have a lot of DPS, so it takes those structures out super quick. I highly recommend you use those. And then I kind of got lucky here because the Warden goes up top and there's no air targeting defenses. and then the P.E.K.K.A. is just going to kind of make its way, of course, kind of like the Queen, just, you know, taking out a ton of different walls, which really did nothing. But as you can see, this one did not triple. This was the one fail that I had against John Glover, so it was kind of like payback, or it was a tough subject because they beat us in CWL, and then, you know, I kind of missed that attack. So kind of made me mad. I didn't want to include that attack into this one, but not a lot that I would have changed on that attack. I would have still probably done the same method, but maybe just a little bit better spell placement, and, you know, I still stand by using that Queen on the outside. Everything that happened, it happened for a reason, and yeah, so now we'll run into this one, and this one, so the RC, I've got it right here, and this is that pivoting point. As soon as I knew that RC was going to target a couple of those outside defenses, I wanted to make sure that it was going to turn back into the mono, and that's exactly what it does here. So it takes out that ricochet cannon, those other defenses along the way, and then goes straight to that mono, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want every single time. Unfortunately, it went back and targeted that king, and then I had to kind of do a little shifted Invisi spell just to get rid of that. And then I realized, like, this isn't going to work out. My Grand Champ's just going to focus on, you know, these enemy CCIGs, and that was that. So from there, I decided to keep the last invisible spell that I had, and then start the push. So again, we had the drags go through the core. I have the CC and the Queen doing the funnel at the 12 o'clock, and then I use the wall break to get into the corner there just to ensure that everything's going to go down into the core. I will say I wasn't able to activate the invisibility tower that was in the core of this base, so it kind of like took a little bit for the drags to refocus on that core area. But that's you know, one thing that really came in clutch is that I still had that Invisi spell, and I used that straight over the core there, and it hides the Grand Champ, which is going to take out a few more of those defenses, which is clutch. And then the Sparky Boot Aura is going to take out the Spitter, the other spell tower, and then that multi-target Inferno. So well worth the value on that Invisi spell in the core there. And yeah, the rest is history. This was the a triple after the fail. So I will post the fails because I want you to show like, yeah, things go wrong, but, you know, that's why it's up to good defensive bases, and, you know, just playing the game. That's what it is, just playing the game and making things happen. So yeah, also, like, you know, super rewarding is just at the end of these raids when you see these Seeking Air Mines and all these traps go off, and you know it's going to be a triple, and you're just like, yeah. You know, like all these extra traps right at the end of the raid, and you're just like, yep, done. I got the triple. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but I definitely feel that way. Yeah. So, I got a lot of feedback from you guys on the last video, and you guys want me to not do the music commentary, like the music audio for these, and I'm game. I will say, like, talking for 20 minutes straight through all these Legend League attacks is a lot, but you know, if that's, you know, what the people want, then that's what the people want, and I'll do more like recaps and stuff along that nature. But you know, there might be a couple videos here and there that are just the audio as soon as I figure out like how to do songs with iMovie that I like. So just don't hate too much on that, okay? I'll do as many as I can with commentary, but there might be a couple here and there that just have, you know, the music, and that's fine. You know, it just gives me a break, gives my voice a break, you know, recording videos, and yeah, I don't have to sit through every single replay. So, but we're gonna get as much commentary as possible. So look at the Grand Champ dive on this one. I got so much value. This aura in the core there takes out, you know, the ricochet cannon, the air defenses there, and then I was even able to get that town hall. And, you know, the tornado trap activated so many traps. I took the sweeper out there. And then on this one, I actually decided, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let this one die in the core. I'm going to let the Grand Champ die in the core because it's going to take out the Town Hall. And that's a lot more value than recalling the Grand Champ and then using it somewhere else. So kind of a clever way that I use the recall in this way. So, you know, I used the giant arrow through the core there, was able to take out, you know, a couple defenses and other structures in the core. Not that big of a deal. But the P.E.K.K.A.s are tanking for the ricochet cannon, which is going to give that ability for the queen to take that out and then keep continuing on that outside funnel, which is excellent. And then from here, use the mini prints. And then I recalled the queen, and then I'm going to put her at the 6 o'clock here just to establish more of a funnel. So those drags are going to go into the core, and you know how slow those drags are. I mean, you guys watch and know these drags all the time, but look how slow they are, right? So when I did that, it enabled those drags to just go through the core and, you know, eliminate the possibility of it being a time fail, because I had knocked out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 structures along the outside, which could have, the drags could have, you know, gone around. And that's just so worth the value. And you got to be real strategic about how you use, you know, the recall spell, you know, risk management, right? We hear that term all the time, especially in, you know, corporate, if you guys are in corporate, or any established business really. But you know, if you think that the risk is worth saving the recall spell and using the queen at some point around the outside of the base, then do it. On the other end, if you want to like use the Grand Champ in the core of the base and then take it out so it'll clean up some other defenses along the way, or, you know, assist with the drags going through the core, then do it. You know, but that's your decision, your game time decision to make, and that's, you know, what you know, makes it unique. That's what makes, you know, your raids, and you're human because you are able to take those risks as you see fit. So yeah, and then this is the last raid. This is going to be a triple as well. So like I said, one fail of the day. We ended up at I can't remember, 308 maybe. I think it was 308 for the day. And then today we ended up at a perfect 320, so stay tuned for that video probably tomorrow. I will say on this one, my Grand Champ started walking around the outside. This guy had really good, well-placed spots for defenses, which put my Grand Champ to go like around the outside. It was not ideal at all. But you know, it exposed a lot of different traps around the outside, and I still took out a ton of defenses. You know, we're sitting at like 20% by the time I used the recall spell for this. And I really just wanted to wait until the Grand Champ took out that Expo, and then same thing. We're just going to go ahead and send out the kill squad, the drags, all along. And that's typically how I do it. I'll send out the drags all the way across, right? So for this one, I wanted to make sure that Archer Queen was going to create the good funnel, and also use that or enable the Invisi spell overneath the Town Hall down there. So once that was done, I used the last Invisi spell that I saved over the Queen, which actually kept her alive from getting taken out by that King, and then was able to go through and, you know, clean up a few different buildings, and then is going to take out that air defense on that top corner, which was doing a heavy deal of damage to my drags going through the kill squad there. And then, you know, the rest is a wrap. So we're just going to let this play out. But I just want to say thanks to all the people that have stayed tuned. You know, we're almost at the 700 subscriber mark, 697. So, you know, back before we stopped, we were at almost 1,000. So we're almost back to where, you know, we left off at. But I need you guys to spread the word. I need you to get more views to this channel. We're trying to push, you know, how cool would it be if you saw me on like main stage shooting for, you know, being a commentary for Worlds. So that's the goal. I really hope that you guys are going to stick with it and with me, and I'll see you soon.